You can't almost put it in words. It was the most severe, brutal, all-encompassing thing that's ever happened in my life.
Jairus Jones was enjoying a night out for dinner with his wife, Melissa, and their 2 young daughters, when Melissa told him something was wrong.
And at that moment, she started shaking and went limp, and I grabbed her and took her down to the ground because she was sliding off of her chair. The bartender was coming over, and I just said, call 911.
Melissa was transported to a nearby hospital as Jairus and their daughters followed behind, praying. Soon after they arrived at the emergency room, Jerry's mother, Pat, and other family members arrived. They waited anxiously for news from the doctor.
She was throwing up into a bag, and I was holding the bag for her for quite a while, and she was in pain. She was talking kind of incoherently. We were all praying. We were all, reaching out to everyone that we could think of. We had family members that were starting prayer chains.
I knew that the only hope was Jesus and prayer. I took the girls back to their house, and that's when I made the phone call to 700 Club and asked for prayer.
An hour later, the doctor came out.
He said, we think that she suffered an aneurysm. We need to fly her out. We have minutes, not hours, and we need to do that immediately.
However, Melissa's flight would be delayed 45 minutes, and there was little the staff could do except hope she could hold on. Melissa finally landed at the hospital. She had taken a drastic turn.
Felt really elated that we got to the next hospital, but then you get there and you see her, and she's literally screaming, put me under, and the nurse is trying to hold her down because the pressure in her brain is causing so much pain. There was nothing I could do to fix the situation.
Melissa was taken into surgery where doctors removed a part of her skull to repair the aneurysm and stop the bleeding. Even if she survived, the outcome was not promising.
She could stroke. She could be a totally different person when she comes out of this. There could be some side effects that could change your life, right? And those things are pretty scary as well, in the sense that you don't know until she comes out of some of this stuff.
A week later, scans showed her brain was still bleeding, and she would need 4 additional surgeries. Doctors told Jairus the likelihood of her survival was just 50%, and she could suffer severe brain damage.
We knew that all these people were praying, and God's will is going to be God's will. But if he was going to do something, we really felt like we had a lot of people that were, reaching out to him to help and to intercede on her behalf, not only for her, but also for the family and for the kids, because there was some real trauma that we experienced.
The surgeries were a success, but Melissa's journey ahead remained uncertain.
I had asked for a pen, and I couldn't get my body to work. So I felt like I was completely me inside my head, but physically my body wasn't cooperating or wasn't doing anything that I needed or wanted it to do. My prayer was, God, help me endure this. I would gladly endure any of this if I get to stay here and still be with my family. When you talk about that, the peace of God, letting you know, there wasn't an option. I was going to be better. I knew that he was going to bring me through it.
Doctors gave little hope that Melissa would ever be the same. With prayer and therapy, she went on to make a full recovery and was back at her job as a national sales executive in just 3 months after her brush with death. Jairus was even more relieved when doctors said she had less than a 1% chance of reoccurrence. The Jones family gives all thanks to God for Melissa's life and recovery.
It was just miraculous. There were no complications at all. It was all thankfulness to God.
Everybody rallied around and was praying for me, and I think that is what led to my really fast recovery in a lot of my areas of challenges, is just the amount of prayer that I had from everybody.
She was surrounded and covered with faith and prayer. I think, those things, they all contributed to her pulling through this.